So some of you may have seen me before. I was here about almost a year ago, I think, looking for beta testers, and it's been a journey. This is something I started building just prior to COVID and worked hard on during COVID, and it was around this idea of when we started building up our number of doors. We got to just over 20 doors. It was becoming a lot for me to manage, and my wife and young family, and we were both working full time and growing our careers. And so I'm sure, like many of you, I had started getting capital partners, and as just between Word documents and Excels and different things, it was just becoming a little bit too much. I found I was spending a lot of time on admin, and I just wanted to simplify how we did some of our things. And so out of that came this idea of property login. Really built it just around our own need. And then one day I sold some properties, and James and I went for lunch and dinner, and I showed him it, and he was like, dude, he's like, I think you should share this. So here's where we're at. So I just want to give you a quick run through. I've only got 10 minutes. I'm going to cruise through this super quick, and then I'm happy to connect throughout. You can DM me or whatever. But so this is kind of my command center. This is just test data here. So this is where I can come in and I can just see everything that's going on in my properties. I can look at my expenses, my incomes. But what I love about this is we've added it for capital partners, because I have a number of joint venture partners, and I'm sure many of you do. So now I can go in and I can switch. Maybe I'm meeting with them and I can see stuff that is specific to them. Maybe I'm meeting them for lunch or dinner, and they just want to know what's going on. I can quickly just change a look at their specific properties. Up here, I've got what's coming up this week. So I've got an example here, tenants paying late, so I know who. And I see that I have a mortgage coming up in the next 90 days. Down here, I can see any rents collected. So green means I'm good. Red means they've paid nothing, or sorry, less than 50%. Yellow means they've paid more than 50%. I can click on this. I can see exactly which properties they are. I can see any notes that I have, because we built a bit of a CRM system. I can see I have 2 notes in here, and I can go in and I can see what they are. It just gives me ideas. Gives me a real quick snapshot what's going on in my portfolio. I can also go back through the years. In terms of analysis, I can come in here. I can analyze deals. I'll just kind of whip through here quick, but I'll show you something cool after. So just like you all probably have a way of calculating deals. We put in some of the details. We go through our loans, and we can add more lending scenarios. Click through our market factors. I can add some comparables if I want to add that in relations. It's got a Google API, so it'll know the address based on in comparison to where your property is. We can click through our income and expenses. You can default some of these, and then it generates the results, which looks probably overwhelming to you. But the best part is I can just click generate report, and you see how quickly you can just fill this out, and it'll build this beautiful report for me. I can go in, change my color scheme, to whatever I want, add pictures, get rid of this logo, add another logo, and you can just go through, and it's got it all laid out for you. Add your pictures, move them around. You want to rotate pictures, you can, and it just goes all the way through. And then after that, it will produce this report. So it gives you something super professional, something you can go meet with a joint venture, partner, raise capital, maybe convince your spouse, because that's usually the case in my house, and should break down the numbers. So as you can see, lots of information on here. Great tool even for realtors to show some analysis to other investors on the deals. But what I love most is this area here. So I can go in and I can compare properties that I've analyzed. So I hit compare properties, and it'll bring up a view here. Side by side, you can do as many properties as you want. And it just highlights kind of the key pieces, but it will also show you the map view of where they are. So picture yourself meeting with a joint venture partner. You could come in, zoom in. Maybe there's something going on here, transportation things or whatever. You can just pop in your Google Street View. We can expand that out. You can talk about the property, the neighborhood, whatever you want. Take them for a little drive around the road, pull back out, and then talk about another property. So we've tried to make it very, like I've made it again around kind of my needs, but I think other people will need the same type of tools. And you can talk about these numbers. We also have under the report section, the ability to print this off as a report, and it'll print out with the map and all these numbers. So I think it's a super valuable tool. One of the other things that we've done here is this, I call it the property log, which is what it's named after. Obviously, this is our CRM tool, just to put all my properties in. And so there's some quick links if you want to get to things specifically, or you can just go in and hit the manage properties. And in here, you'll see just my regular property details, just stuff that you would find on an MLS type sheet. Here's where I can diarize conversations, things with my property manager. So it's very important to understand this is a portfolio software, management software, not property management software, although I think you could use, if you do it yourself, I think you could use a lot of it for that. But this is, for me, is a tool for me to help manage my property manager to know what's going on. And so, like many of you, I'm sure you have tenants who don't always pay on time, and trying to remember all those things, I can just add to myself a quick note, know what's going on. But when I need to follow up, maybe they said they were going to pay on a certain date, and I can submit that, and that'll appear up in the dashboard. So I know I can go in, who do I need to follow up with? Income and expenses, we can put in, you can do your income expenses, your bookkeeping, super easy. I've got to tell you, for those of you that have kids, my oldest, he's 15, he does all of my bookkeeping now. It's pretty awesome. He's learned so much about real estate through this journey of building this tool, which is probably one of my most exciting things for me personally. And I've got a school actually that's looking to use this for CAP class to analyze deals and teach them basics. But you just come in, add a line, pick your unit, pick your category. You can create your own categories if one's not here, and the amounts and notes, and it's really teaching them some basics. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then you can add your documents, leases, and then your loans. One of the other cool features I think is kind of follows through what we've been talking about. Sorry, it's really small printing here for those who I have my resolution pretty high. But this is around property stress tests. I mean, we just talked about and heard from James and about Vancouver and Edmonton and just what's going on in how quickly things can change with interest rates. So what we've got here is the ability to bring in your whole portfolio and do a stress test on it. So it brings in all of the details that I had on that other page. You can edit them, update them quick, and then you can run scenarios off of here. So if interest rates are going to increase, by like 2%, I can see immediately the impact to my portfolio. If I expect or we're hearing, rents are going to go up, 10%, I can do that. I can see immediately where the trend is going. I can see my cash flows increase from $343 now to $2,500. So also, this is like, if you're really nerdy, this is an amazing tool. And if you are managing other people's money, I feel like this is a critical tool to understand it. We know that more interest rates are going up. This ability, if you have a bunch of variables, you can go back actually and just select that even specific property, and then come in here. Maybe it's just this one. You can select, go back, run scenarios off of it. And then it might give you an idea you can call Keaton at KB Mortgages. Hey, what are my options? Or it might be like, it's time to call James and the Mogul team. I want to get ahead of the market and sell this property because I know if it goes up 2%, it's going to be underwater. And so I think this tool really gives you a bit of a crystal ball. If you are paying attention to what's going on in the news, plug in some of those things based on some of the economic factors that are going on, and it'll give you an idea of how that's going to impact your portfolio. And you can move all of those different ones and see how it impacts in real time. Another key one that I want to show quickly is calendar view. The calendar view is awesome. That's my kind of go-to. So if you have a bunch of properties, it gives you a picture of, because I'm more of a visual person, who's in good standing, who's not. Leases, who are they? What do they do? This is an example. The orange is that they're month to month, and green means like that's when they're expiring. And the importance of this to me is if you're running your business, sometimes if you have multiple rentals, you might not think when your lease expiries are, and you might find that you have a bunch of expiries at the same time. Or maybe like in this scenario, you've got a lot of month to month and you want to lock some in. those are risks to your business, right? If everybody's expiring, maybe it's a bad market and you have a whole bunch of vacancies at the wrong time. So it might get you to show you visually, like, you know what, maybe I need to ladder some of my leases so that I don't have everybody ending at the same time. Or maybe in Edmonton, I find it's a lot better in spring and summer than maybe January to try to replace a tenant. So it just gives you that idea. Mortgages gives you a quick snapshot, tells you the maturity dates. Talking to a mortgage broker, maybe have a property coming up due, and they usually want to know, hey, who's it with? What's the rate? Is it fixed? Is it variable? Just gives you a quick snapshot. So these are just some of the quick tools I wanted to show you. Here's where you can add joint ventures. We've got reports, lots going on. We've got a roadmap of items that we still want to add in, and just to make investment life so much easier for you. I hope that you guys have seen some of the value in the work that I've been trying to create for the last several years. And so if you're interested, please go over to propertylog.ca. And James and I talked, and he asked if I could give some sort of deal to the Mogul group. So if you use the promo code Mogul, you get our top level that gives you everything for the cheaper price. And it's 30-day free trial, so there's no harm if you want to go and just give it a test drive. So yeah, I hope that, I know it went super fast probably, but I hope it gave you a little bit. And you know what? Take the free trial, play around with it, spend some time with it. Shoot me an email if you need questions. There's a whole bunch of tutorials in there. I would start there just to expand on each one of those areas.